We just arrived at Istanbul airport in Turkey, and our next destination now is Guarulhos, São Paulo, Brazil. Let's go, let's go. Guys, this is my current setup. There is a specific place here for cable management, constant source of electricity, and it's following the standards, you know, like all the safety regulations and stuff. So when I sit on this blue thing here, my my head's gonna be the same height as the screen, so you know, to protect my neck and stuff. And it's placed, look, it's placed in a place specifically and strategically placed to avoid all the light and reflect from the window there, you see. So let me get a good view here. There we go. This is gonna be my setup. This is where I'm gonna play the next few games on the Brazilian server. Beautiful, isn't it? Nos 20/2 20/2. So, what did we get? Right. Placements complete. Bronze 1. So, but like, how is this fair? Okay. Look at my match history. Placements, rank stats from here. I won all the 5 placements. MVP now. And I placed bronze 1.
So I think the way you play it, funnily enough, is just around, like, one thing I even talked in the first episode, I think, video I did, which is just playing around your teammate's proximity, right? You want to start fighting where your team is in the same range to engage, right? So this initial thing is good, right? So, and you kind of want to, so when you fight here, right? So the way that you fought was this way, right? You go here and you take a 1v1. This is good, right? But then these guys come in and then turns into a 1v3, right? And then Malzahar comes in and then turns into a 2v3, okay? So 1v1 then it turns into a 1v3, and then it turns into a 2v3 when Malzahar gets here. Does that make sense? So this is good, right? This is definitely solid. Like, that is super solid, right? But you want to avoid this, okay? So this means you go in, this means you go out, and then this means you go in, okay? So to kind of, so what does that exactly mean? How does that look like? You go in, you start fighting.
Maybe if I don't go in, maybe if I wait on the bush for Lessing to come to the bush, because he was coming to the bush, maybe it would be, I would have time to, you know, like, if I stay there and wait for him to face check the bush, because he was walking towards the bush right now.
Yep, that could also be totally fine. That could definitely be totally fine. Like, you can just wait. The only issue is, like, if he's good and then he just walks this way, then we're depressed, right? Because then he's just gonna be able to get away. So I can also understand you walking out. Like, I don't think the issue is you walking out. I think it's fine. This is fine. This is fine. Now you want to back off, okay? Especially because Corki committed against W, right? So right now, if you back off here, right? Why are you backing off here? Because again, 1v1, good, right? But now it's going to turn into a 1v3, right? So we don't want this. So here we in 1v1, out 2v3. Once it turns into a 2v3, right? Then we go back in. Okay. So once we get to auto attacks and this is going to turn into 2v3, we want to go out. Right. And what are they going to do? They can't do anything. Right? They're just going to keep going this way, keep going this way, we're going to keep going this way, and then Malzahar is going to be able to either come here or come here. And as soon as it's a 2v3, now we want to go back in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Can you picture that in your head, how it would look like?
Definitely.
Because like here, the issue of this fight is because you keep going when it's going to be a 1v3. So right now you're walking into a 1v3. And this is where you take the most amount of damage. You see? Now you're going to think Malzahar pops off, but I promise you, like, if you just, as soon as it's going to turn into 1v3 here, you go back out, then you will hard stomp 3-0 this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this has nothing. This is like it's a different part of fighting. It's not mechanics. It's not target selection. It's not using the right awaken. It's playing around numbers and proximities and engage ranges and spacing, right? It's really just that. It's like another section of fighting. This has nothing to do with what awaken you choose. This has nothing to do with who you select on targets. Nothing to do with who you smite or when you press W. It has everything to do with where your Malzahar is and when he can actually start participating in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not here, we want to back out. And then once he's here and he's ready to engage, now we want to go back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense?
Yep.
Like bot lane, as you mentioned, yes, it's very contestable. Ideally, we would want to go here, right, and hover. Because we talked about the 3 wave states that we want to contest, right? It's contest enemy crash. Right, and then the second one is hover ally crash. Like in this case, because we want to make sure, because as you mentioned, that she's gonna be vulnerable and we want to hover. And then the third one is just contest neutral, right? For Pro.
Mm-hmm.
These are really the main things, right? So yes, I think this is good. But we can't do this because Corki has Triforce, first thing, and we don't know where Lee Sin is, right? And Nautilus is recall.
Yeah.
So we're taking the 2v3 when Corki has Triforce, right? We're just gonna die, right? We can't really contest this crash. So yes, it's totally correct. Mid is the only lane you can play with, so play with your mid lane. Conclusion.
Looking at tab right now.
Yep.
Okay. Looking at that right now, how did we win that game? Look at that. Like 4-1 Echo, 5-3 Corki, like bounty on Zillion, bounty on Camille. Camille with like 20 CS lead. The heck? Okay.
And this can be, and this is the next point, which I think is going to be probably one of the most important points, is when you're in a situation like this, what made you come back? Well, the first thing is you're up 20 CS, right? So you're not behind, despite your teams being ahead. You have Leandris and he has Eclipse, so you're still in a good spot. Actually, I don't know if he beats Lee Sin because he has Kick now, right? But you're still relevant. That's the first thing. The thing that keeps you in the game is the fact that you kept farming, so you have good CS, right? You have more CS than Fiora. Like, you have the second most CS in the game. This is really solid. It keeps you in the game, right? You have Leandris. That's the first thing. The second thing is what you just said. Malzahar is my strongest. Play with your Malzahar. So just look at the next play that's going to happen. You're like, okay, hovering obviously is nothing for you to do. This was always going to happen. Corki has Triforce now. He's insanely strong. There's nothing you could have done here. Even if you're here, you lose to 2v2. Right? There's nothing. Might have even made a mistake for you to even try to look for something here. And again, this comes from just like consistently always look at items. Press tab, always look at items. Just so you can see what everyone's power level. Because if you win 2v2, 3v3, etc., everyone's power level, the kills aren't going to tell you. The deaths aren't going to tell you. The gold is not going to tell you. The items are what's going to tell you. Literally, the items are what's going to tell you exactly who is strong.
Because it's gold spent.
Exactly. Yes. That's the only thing that matters. So I want you to look at this play, right? You go here, you're looking for raptors, you're exploring, right? Waiting for your camps to come up. Boom, an opportunity comes in. You go in, you ult the Lee Sin, he spends a lot of resources. Kill the Lee Sin, right? The Echo. Solid. Why did this play work?
Because I recalled, I recalled it was fresh from base. If I was like still trying to, I don't know, defend plates on bot, I wouldn't be there for Malzahar. Second, because I didn't stay on my blue waiting for my camps to spawn. I had some time, so why not getting the timer on the enemy camps? And most important, because just myself and Malzahar were ahead, like doing our part. So when the opportunity came, we were ahead enough to make it work.
Exactly. Yes, which is the main, as you said, those are also really good takeaways, right? Fresh base. Because Lee Sin maybe has more gold, right? He doesn't, right? But maybe he has more gold because he's been ahead, whatever. But it doesn't matter. If you spend your gold and he hasn't, then you are actually stronger. Like you just said, it's all about gold spent. It's not about who has more gold. It's about who has spent the most gold. How does it actually look like item-wise? And if you look at your item-wise, you have Swifties. Yeah, he has no items. And Malzahar has Malignants. And Echo has no items, right? So you're playing with your strong side, right? You're playing. That's how you come back in a game where you have losing sides. You don't keep trying to save them, right? Especially at this point. Like at this point, they're not worth saving anymore. Like if Corki and Camille still have components, and that's going back to the point I made previously. If they still have components, it's playable. But once they have Triforce, you can't play the game anymore against. They will 2v3, right? So you do this. Yes, this is really fucking good. And this is the reason why you're able to come back into a losing game, because you played with a lane that's actually winning. Which I want to really highlight, because as much as it is like important that we fix our mistakes and stuff like that, it's really important that you understand the things that you're doing correctly so that you keep replicating it. And then this is also really good, abusing death timers, right? Which was a massive topic last time. Least instead, take everything.
Yeah. That's huge.
I told you the conditions of being able to do dragon, right? Which is like, they can't be here, right? Which you could actually, I think you could have a little bit of both, right? Because Ezreal can't be here, so that's the first one. And then the other one is like the only word you have, even if they're here, which is even if they are here, right? We win. Right, those are really the two conditions to your dragon, and I think you have both. I don't think, I know you have both. Even if they come here, you just turn around and kill them. Tristana, Nautilus are insanely strong in early game skirmishes. Your champion with Awaken, insanely strong. Mel with Lost Chapter, and your Tristana has a BF sword. Echo has fleet footwork, you know? Like I want you to sort of see like all the information, and this is the difficult part of jungle, because there's so much information that we have to be looking at the same time. Right? But for you to become the end goal of a diamond jungler, these are things that you need to be able to recognize, right? So here, you know, okay, as soon as you see Echo going mid, you're like, okay, this guy's trolling. Well, he's skipping a camp, great. Now you're up a camp more randomly. Actually, you're up 2 camps now because Aatrox took top grab. And you're like, okay, he's going top side, okay, great, easy. Ezreal's gonna recall for this. You can just start it, take the sword, right? Then you can just start it, pull it, and be totally fine. And if Echo steals this dragon, we're doing something wrong, right? Or like we should ideally ward here, right? Ward, and then we ping, you know, missing here, right? We are ping assistance, and then obviously let our Nautilus be able to do something about it, right? And stand on the wall. Or if you're really worried, you could also have bots. I actually don't know if you had enough. Did you have enough gold for a ping? Yeah, so you do have gold for a pink, right? So you could buy a pink here. Could buy pink, and then in that case, with a pink, it's literally like nearly impossible for Echo to steal. Because then you're going on to a dragon. Right, where you have a pink here. You have a pink. You have a ward over here, so you can see him coming, right? You drag the way over here, you have a Nautilus that can just stand here and stop him. Like then in that case, if Echo in that situation takes a dragon, then we deserve to have the dragon taken from us. Does that make sense? Does that like cover all your worries?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like then that's sort of that's how we solidify our lead. It's like if we get a lead early, then like this is really good. Then if we get a 22 soul, even if they win a couple fights, as long as we get a 22-minute soul and we're able to keep getting the dragons, like it just doesn't matter. Mel gets the kill. But even now, we could probably still do it. Just get the grids and just still do it. Yeah, we got a pink. This is perfect.
I think he steals this Drake. Nearly sure. Yeah.
He just literally walks up in your guys' faces and steals. What do you think you could have done?
Like, turn on him?
Yeah. Do you lose this fight if you turn?
No.
Yeah, 1000%. Like this guy's, yeah. It's kind of like in, obviously, I know you played Summoning, right? But it's kind of like when you're contesting a minion, right? Think of Dragon as a minion, right? Think of Dragon as like a cannon minion, right? it's like if the enemy laner wants to go for the can minion and it's low, right? It's getting low. You just walk up to him and you kill him before he can do it. And then boom, minus 60 G or minus 93, right? Depending on the range. If we just keep farming and don't do anything about it, well, he's just gonna walk up and take the can for free, right? So it's the same thing here. It's we just turn around, right? Like I think it would be scary if like maybe Ezreal was here with full health, full mana, right? Okay, it's a little bit scary, but like I mentioned before, it's Echo with Fleet Footwork. We have more items on mid. We have a BF Sword Tristana. Right? We have every reason to just absolutely demolish him, right? So we just need to walk at him. Walk at him, stun him, kill him, and not only do you get the dragon, but you kill him. So now, and then if you immediately recall, now you have another temple lead, right? Which means that now, despite you having a losing top lane, you can actually get the top grab. Over here is this wave state, right? This was really solid. Recognizing, like, hey, I don't even know why Camille's winning the trades. That probably messed up somewhere. Maybe I don't know what it is. But Camille's winning, right? Which means that she has a reason to go in, and also she's trying to crash the wave, right? So this is a perfect wave state to attack. We're attacking the wave state. So this is what ended up making this game so successful. We turned on the R, basic really good mechanics, right? And then we ended up chasing her and just straight up killing her. So this was really solid. And then classic, okay, now we do the crab. Which we talked about before, right? About just like attacking the wave state, which is super solid. And then now, because our set doesn't have TP and he has Ignite, well, now set wants to crash the wave. So there's another wave that's relevant for us to go. Like, he needs to crash this wave. Like, when the Camille spawns here from this TP, full health, full mana, and set is very little health, no mana, no flash, no Ignite. Like, if you don't help him here, he's either going to die, or he's going to recall, and then he's going to fall massively behind in gold XP because he's going to get frozen on. So
I should have gone straight because I waited because I thought okay, Camille is gonna E on him because he's pretty low, and then she is not gonna be able to escape. But maybe that was too dangerous. She could have actually killed Seth. Not sure.
Yes, 1000%. I mean, I think, yeah, it does make a lot of sense for Camille. Like, Camille should honestly most likely just E him as soon as she comes from, like, she could E him right now. I'm not sure why she's not Eing him because it's a free kill. So I can definitely understand you waiting for him because he should E. I don't know why she's not Eing him.
Yeah, it wasn't really close on him.
So I think it's just like, I don't know why Camille's not Eing. I think honestly the most consistent thing, because I guess like then the other argument that you could have is like you do rely on her Eing, but like she should E every single time. I do not know why she's Eing. This is the freest kill in the world. Like here, boom.
Like that.
Yeah.
He can even escape.
Yeah, like what is he gonna do about it? Nothing. Press E, press W, make a bit of time. Obviously, you would come here and maybe save him, but yeah, I think the best.
Yeah, with flash.
Yeah, which would be the best. So I don't mind. I don't mind you waiting because I think it makes sense for you to wait. It makes a lot of sense as to why Camille should go in on set.
Okay.
1000%. Yeah, we do get the wave crash, and then we do Chunker. I think QQ might have killed her, as you mentioned yourself. And then, yeah, I mean, this is not the end of the world.
The only problem.
Yeah.
The only problem, like sometimes I find myself sometimes using more RR than QQ. In this case as well, because like with Q, you have to the most damage is like most of like the second charge. So if I stun and QQ, I have time for the first charge guaranteed, and then most often than not, the enemy like the enemy can like run away from the second charge of the Q. But with the RR, I can like RR and it's gonna be there. But like QQ would kill her here. I'm just not sure if I would be able to get both charges of QQ.
Totally get that part. And I think to make sure you get your second Q off, it's gonna be super important that you have your Phoenix around you, right? So that you're slowing her and are able to have. So you would turn on here. Maybe you get one Phoenix auto attack off because you're waiting for your Q to come back up, and then you QQ. I think would be the best way to go about it. So you would have your R right now, you're slowing her, maybe you throw one auto attack, Phoenix, and then boom, as soon as you're QQ, boom, you QQ, and then you should be enough to kill her. And if you do kill her here, you won the game for your set. Like, if Camille misses this entire wave and she has no TP, like, she's massively behind.
Yeah, she's screwed.
And then since you're going to start looking at wave states more and looking to attack, remember that the objective is to crash the wave to make sure that these minions, obviously over here, are all targeted under the minion, right? So just go expand a little 2-3 extra seconds to just accompany the wave and make sure. You might have actually maybe,
Okay.
because if she keeps going
Even
like
killed
this,
her.
yeah, you kill her, right? It's like she either dies, right, or she lets you crash the wave. So it's a win-win for you. Because the freeze is not bad. Like Set, yes, is going to lose some CS, but he's just going to come back, and if Camille stays, I mean, she's just going to die for her and be fine, right? But this will mean that Set will get down a little bit of golden XP because of this freeze. So we don't want to allow Camille to do this when we can literally absolutely just destroy her.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, just making sure the waves actually crash. Yes. Do you think Set is diamondable here?
I don't think so, but like you know, they might think that he is.
Because
I just went for that. Yeah, I just went for that because like I was worried about the Drake, but we had a ward, right? As soon as I saw Viego here, I said, okay, I don't need to worry about the Drake anymore, and we win the 2v2. So if for some reason the Viego actually goes for it or anything, like we win that 2v2 in my mind at the moment.
For sure, and I think it just comes down to the wave, right? So what's happening with the wave? Where is it pushing towards?
It's slow pushing towards Camille.
Yeah, I think it's really close,
Right?
but I think it is slightly.
Yeah, just because our cannon has more health than their cannon. If we leave it there,
Yep.
maybe it's gonna push. Yeah.
1000%. So I think it's on the right track, right? I think Viego's going here because the way that I'm seeing it is Viego wants to hide in this bush because the wave's going to push this way. And then when the wave goes a little bit maybe over here and then Seth wants to walk up for a last hit, that's when Camille and Viego can go in him with Camille, right? I think that's what their play sort of looks like. It's like, okay. And then we go back to wave set. It's like, we need to help Seth crash the wave. That is the main objective. Right, but it's not
Okay.
quite at the point where we need to help him crash the wave, and we have information on Viego, right? So, ideally, to me, what is best, so you don't lose tempo, because this guy's wasting a lot of tempo, is you do the dread, do the Krugs, right? Ping, obviously this, right? Ping careful, and then once you're done with that, now you come here through the bushes, you hover the crash. If Viego are to recall, or if they don't go anything, well, great, you got the crash up. That's massive, and then you can just go and do the dragon, right? If they jump on him and they try to stop him from crashing the wave, boom, now you're there, and you're there to counterattack, and just literally, as you said, win the 2v2 and kill them. Does that make sense, John?
Yeah, it does.
So I think what is the main sort of difference here is that looks like Camille starts to push, so this kind of changes a lot of things, right? Because she does touch the wave a little bit too much, and then obviously Viego's here, and then so it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense because you sit here, because there is something you're fighting for. Like I mentioned before, like we don't ever want to just get kills to kills. We always want to fight for something. So the wave state, you're no longer really fighting for a wave state because Camille started pushing towards Set, but you are fighting for this vision. You guys like this fight actually kind of makes a little bit of sense because Set is walking over here to defend his ward, right? He wants to take the pink, Viego wants to take the ward. So Viego's like, okay, we can't let this guy Set. He wants to defend, but we're two people and he's one. They don't know you're here. So he decides to go in, and then boom, you hear the surprise. And then it ends up working out. But yeah, I think ideally what will happen is you do red buff in the middle of the round. You're like, oh, Camille's starting to push. Is my Set diable? No. You do the Krugs. And then you probably, if Set like takes a bad trade, you can stay here to defend the dive and then recon the dragon. But I think this was also not bad. I just want to really just sort of help you understand the wave states and try to see the ganks in the game that way.
Oh, that was the time when Seth didn't want me to help him push the wave. Like he wanted to freeze, but there was just 3 minions. Not that was even before, I think.
Yeah, like I think here he's a little bit too low. I definitely help him push. Yes, I think this makes sense.
Mhm. Oh yeah, he was good. He wanted us to push. Oh,
Yeah, this is good.
but before that, that was like when he pinged me not to help him crush.
Think you mean here?
Yeah. No, before that.
Oh, good, on the gate.
Oh, there. After this, okay. Okay. Now I want to help him there, but then he pinged me not to crush that.
Okay. What do you think about this?
But like, I think we want to crush that because he like by now he needs to spend his gold and everything. He's half HP. I know he heals a little bit, but like if I'm there already, I could make it like perfect for him, right? Like we crush this. The next wave is coming here right under the enemy tower because our one it matches our one. So we crush that wave. He goes recall, I recall together, I go to Drake. The wave is gonna bounce back and he's gonna be able to freeze again behind his tower.
Okay. So I want you to sort of think about, I guess 2 points to think about is the first thing is like, when you're helping your lanes crash, which obviously previously it's been really solid, it's kind of, the laner always sacrifices XP, right? Because now you're sharing XP, right? Which is the reason why I think Set is a little bit behind in XP. I think also in some unfortunate ways is actually with the freeze and stuff, right? But we also do want to share as least XP as possible and only do when like the alternative is just far worse. Right? It's like, okay, what option number 1, we share XP when we get the crash. Option number 2, you try to crash by yourself and then you just die because you're too low and you can't crash. Okay, then we much prefer, sharing XP, right? So I think in this situation, I want you to put yourself in Camille's shoes, right? Your jungler just died, right? And then you see Udyr disappear right into darkness, and then there's a freeze, right? How are you feeling as Camille?
Oh no, but that's the thing. I don't think that would be I don't think he can even freeze there because there is just 3 minions. That's why I said okay, it can't be freeze. So for me, it's slow pushing towards Camille. You know what I mean?
This wave state right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Like, it's here, right?
Yes.
But because there is only 3 minions of difference, because Set, only if Set just not touch the wave and stay there and not even last hit the minions, then it's gonna slow push towards Set. But because he's gonna be farming, last hitting the minions, then I don't think he can freeze with only 3 minions.
Yeah, so
I always learned that it's like 4 minions to freeze.
Yes, you're definitely right. It's at least 4 minions. I think yes, the position in which the wave goes on, it does matter as well, because let's say you had, let's say you had 3 minions over here, right? Then you would know that it's going to slow push this way, right? Because obviously the wave is going to get here first, going to turn into 6, obviously 9, right? And it's going to be a 9v6 minions for a bit, because this next wave is going to take way longer because it has to go, all the way past the middle, but all the way on their side, right? So the reinforcements come first if they're on, this side, and vice versa. The reinforcements come first because they're on this side, right? So yes, like I think it's kind of slightly neutral here. So if Set does keep it here, I think it is actually going to create a freeze. If the 3 minions were like obviously in the usual freeze spot, which is like somewhere here, I think it would create a temporary freeze. Why is this 3 minions not freeze? I mean, they don't freeze, but it's a very slow push, is what I mean. Like it's going to take like 2-3 waves for it to finally break and push this way. That makes sense because it's barely on the line that it's not going to freeze. +4, it freezes, right? +3, it doesn't freeze. It will, if there's +3 minions here, right? But it's going to be, yes, it's going to push this way, but it's going to be very slow. It's going to take like 2-3 waves, which is totally fine because then that means that Set has 2 to 3 waves where the wave is going to be on this side, and then Camille has to be scared, right? So he gets the freeze effect, but only for 2 waves. Unlike if he had +4 minions, he could have the freeze forever. Does that make sense? Do you see the difference?
Yeah, I see.
So +3 temporary freeze only lasts of 2 waves, right? +4 he could literally do it forever if he does have +4.
And is it good for him to get that temporary freeze there? Like him having like half HP and knowing that Camille doesn't have TP?
Yes, so I think the reason why and is because you still have this and this up, right? So what exactly does this mean? That you can fog. Camille has to play scared because she doesn't know if you're just going to come and regang. She has to play very scared on the freeze. She can't exactly ever E forward. She always has to save her E to go back. She can't really use it for trades because she doesn't know if you're here in this bush and at some point you're going to be able to go. So Sed kind of wants to use your pressure to be able to hold the freeze, right?
Okay,
Now,
makes sense.
if you had no camps up and you know you're going to recall and then be bots and you're not going to be there to pressure, then 1000% I would disagree with the set, and I'd say you want to clear this wave, clear the next one, and help him recall because you're not going to be here to help him or pressure at all, and now you can beat block. But because you're going to go here and you're going to still be here for another minutes, then you're actually you're still going to be in proximity to contest the crash that maybe Camille wants to force because she hates being in that way.
Makes sense.
It's all in. And then that's exactly what happens, right? That's literally exactly what happens, right? Like you don't force a crash, and then now you can come contest a freeze, and then that's what allows you to be able to do this, right? But yeah, you do all this, and this is really good. I really like this. I think this is not done enough. I think when people get 3 grubs, they forget that 3 grubs are to hit towers, and this is something that I saw in the game of. Let me actually pull it up because this is a really relevant example. It's Trundle versus Set, and there's a specific play. Let's look at when Set, they take the grubs. Oh, okay, so this was even without the grubs, right? Still relevant, but with the grubs. So FlyQuest, I think, they only take 1 grub, right? But they're playing Trundle versus Sets. Okay, let me look at it a little bit further. See where we find the points when Set is back top lane. Okay, Set's back top lane. Okay, here we go. So this is one thing. So he has 1 grub. Also, Trundle is a champion that just does. Obviously, he demolishes towers, right? And something that I think we kind of forget and we go over the fact that we can turn a gank, right? Obviously, we turn into that kill, right? And obviously, that it comes down to the same concept, right? Abuse death timers. And especially when we have champions that are really good at hitting towers like Trundle, or we're playing Udyr and we have 3 grubs, like we can just stay there and take towers. We might be able to take 1 tower, 2 towers. Like I've had games where I get a kill like this, and because I have 3 grubs, I'm like, wait, we could just 100-0 this entire wave, right? And we do so because no one comes there to defend. So take a look at this, right? So I'll up the volume a little bit. Trundle finishes his full clear. Obviously, Temple is just the same as competitive, right? The same, Inspired does a really good job. Okay, now he looks for a gang top. Looking to contest the minions. Okay, he flashes on them. Doesn't throw his pillar out yet. Now throws his pillar after the crash. Holds pretty free, right? But now, a lot of junglers, what would they do in the situation? Most junglers would just take a recall, right? Oh, let me recall. Let me just go for defend bot side or defend the bot play or whatever. But I think one thing that Inspired did this, and this was really impressive series by Inspired because he carried really hard both of the wins that FlyQuest got as Trundle and Sejuani, which is like, what? This guy's carrying Trundle and Sejuani. Like, I don't know if you watch the games, but if you watch the games, it's insane how this guy just 1v9 on utility channels, right? So he stays here and like this, boom.
But Trundle is not even utility, right? Like Trundle is like a 1v9 machine as well.
He can be, yes, in solo you can definitely turn him. In competitive, he's a little bit more on the utility side because really his job, for example, this game is to press pillar on Varus so that he's forced to flash, or that it sets up for a really easy engage from playing Bard, or he just ults the front line, right? Maokai goes in, Yor goes in, he ults him, and they can just one-shot it. That's really his kind of purpose a lot of games in competitive. So he goes this is like, okay, he gets a turn, right? Now BLGs obviously, they understand that they have a number advantage on the rest of the map, right? So they want to make some sort of play happen, right? So this is totally normal. you want to make a play on one side, we make a play on the other side, right? So this is total normal stuff. And then maybe the jungler would be like, oh, you know, like he would be here, ready to defend, right? And you know, be here to defend the place. But actually what Inspired is gonna do is he's just gonna stay here with the set, help him push the wave, and just slam another tower. You know?
Holy yeah.
So they just got 2 complete towers here, and that's almost like over 1,000. And look at the gold lead that they have now. Like, let's see, before the play happens, okay, here they're up like 700 gold, right? 600. And then after this, and then they get the tower, 600 gold, right? 600 gold, get the kill, obviously 200 gold, 1k, get the turret. And this is despite them getting killed. I think they got killed, yeah. Quad gets killed, and he gets shut down, right? So they go down 700. Yeah, they go down like 800, 700 gold, right? And despite that, they still get the turret and get an insane amount of gold. So if Quad wouldn't have gotten killed in that situation, they would have generated themselves like it was like 2.5k versus minus 600. It would have been like 1.9k gold lead just off of one play, which is absolutely insane, right? And at
How like Yorick didn't go top when he spawned? He went mid, right? Or not?
he's still dead. No, he was just dead the entire time. Yeah, that's how fast they took these towers. Like, he just spawned right now, and he's on his way to defend. Yeah, no, he's just too late. Set and Trundle just take turrets way too fast. It was absolutely insane. But yeah, I wanted to show you an example because I think it's relevant to this case, which is exactly what you did here. It's like, hey, let me just double down and we can just take the entire thing. Because there's 4 plates, right? But because you have 3 grubs, right? And obviously Camille's died, like taking the entire tower is the correct thing to do. You get 4 plates, you get all 5 plates actually, and you get first tower gold, right? It's an insane amount of gold that you get from all this. So this is a really fantastic play. Honestly, what John was able to do for this Brazil was honestly pretty impressive. The fact that he went from Europe all the way to Brazil and then managed to make the time to still continue a lot of his journey while being there, and then actually managed to climb back to Emerald. It's pretty impressive. And on the setup that you guys saw, he's not at a usual setup in Europe where he has, you know, a great monitor, a fantastic computer. No, he was on a laptop on top of some books, right? Not the best setup, right? But he still managed to do so, right? So, and not a single time during their sessions did I hear him complain about the setup or about the new sort of situation he was in. So massive props. I love people who, despite the situation, if it gets hard or anything, they just don't never complain. I'm a massive fan. So massive props to John. Congratulations. I mean, he did really well. Nice winner to Emerald. And yeah, now we're going to be going back to Europe. And now it's really time to show, can we get the diamond? Can we get the diamond within the 90 days that we established, 90 days of practice? We will find out.